Happy Monday, everyone. So great to see you guys. Okay, so tonight we are revisiting some of the basics because many of you are either getting started sharing Plexus and you're new here, so welcome. And maybe this is your first team call. Welcome to you guys. Or you're getting restarted. I've been talking to so many people that, it's a new year. They're getting restarted with sharing Plexus, and even if you're not in either of those categories, we all need the reminder of what actually moves the needle in our business, right? Like, what are the things I need to be doing that actually will help me grow with Plexus? I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I sit down to share or like do the activities. We're like, all right, I'm going to work my business. And I sit there and I'm like, what do I do? Right? Has anyone else ever felt that way? Like you're ready to do the work, but you don't really know what to do. I have definitely felt that way. So if that's you, we're going to break it down. And we're going to take a deep dive into what activities we can do to share Plexus that are growth activities and which are maintenance activities. And you might be surprised. Okay, so we're going to dive into it. But for those who have been sharing and have a team, I just want you to make a mental note that maintaining your points is growth. Okay, you don't maintain by accident. You are working hard if you are maintaining. We're always fighting against attrition, right? I've heard Jen Leith say many times that our business is like a bathtub with the drain open. We're always going to have people coming and going, and we have to be filling in, right? Faster than they're going out. I think as a team, we do an awesome job loving our customers, keeping them for a long time so that drain is not huge, which is wonderful. But if you're maintaining your team, that is evidence that you are working very hard. Okay, so just for your mindset, just know maintaining your team is huge. For mindset purposes, we just need to understand that. But for growth, which is kind of what we're thinking of with the new year, we flip that calendar, we reflect on the previous year, and we have goals for 2024. With growth, there's things you need to be doing consistently for an extended period of time. And this is on our winning day and winning week sheet, which we'll go over. And these things kind of have to be done in order to grow a stable business. I know for me, I would love some accountability. We've done this in the past, and if anyone's open to it, maybe put it in the chat. But I would love to maybe take a stretch of time where we have some accountability with, either submitting our winning day sheets or just popping into a chat and saying like, I was consistent today, because that goes a long way to keep us on track. Okay, so if you're in for accountability, Shannon's in. Yay, Shan, you and me, girl. She's in her robe. She's excited. So accountability is huge because those daily and weekly actions are definitely what move you forward. And they are the things that we just don't do. Like, we just want to buffer and do other things. But they're the things that keep us on track. Okay, so why do these things matter? Because really, to reach any goal, it's just consistency and time. Right? If you are consistent with the activities that move the needle and you give it enough time, you will reach your goals. It might be more time, it might be less time, but you will get there because you'll be moving forward. But for growth, we have to be doing the daily and the weekly things. If you're not, then we can't really expect growth, right? We can't have that expectation of growth in 2024 if we're not willing to do the things. So I'm going to ask Victoria to share a little bit first. She has been investing in herself in doing some really, really great training with Melissa Eichenhorst, and she has a graphic that I asked her to show and just chat about a bit. So Victoria, I'm going to make you the host. Give me a second to do that. Okay, that should work. So you can share your screen and show us.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay. Let me see. Don't judge all my open tabs. This is how my brain works. Let me see. Okay. Can you guys see this business activity chart? Okay. Is it big enough? Maybe not.
There you go. That's better.
Okay. Some of you may have seen this before, but, and Brittany is going to talk for those of you that are newer. She'll go through, different activities, winning day, what that looks like if you really want to grow this business. But what I want you guys to notice, okay, so in this pyramid, I have different activities that we often do for this business. Okay, so for example, reaching out to people, having different events if they're online or in person, posting online, posting reels and things like that, doing book studies, podcasts, team call right now, right? Creating graphics and responding to chats, all of those things are things that we do as we work our business. But a lot of times, and I'm preaching to myself here, I have found that, there will be seasons where I say I'm working, and I am, but I'm not doing activities that are result-oriented activities. Okay. And so I love this graphic because it shows the activities that we need to be doing in order to get results. So it's broken up into results, support activities, and then like the icing on the top, icing on the cake activities. A lot of times we'll spend like 80% of our time doing the support and the icing activities. Okay. And we'll spend like 20% of our time doing the result activities, or we'll start by doing the icing on the cake activities because they're easy, right? And we love making graphics and we love sending gifts and like all of those things, but we don't do the result activities, or maybe kind of harder activities first. And we have to flip it. Okay. So I just wanted to show you guys this because 60% of your work time should be result-oriented activities, 30% support. So things like, maybe you're posting on Teampage, maybe you're, helping with our challenge. Like we have our Balance in 2024 challenge going on right now. Maybe it's sending out birthday messages or getting organized for your week. We spend, so it's 30% there, then 10% for icing. Okay. And I want you guys to keep in mind, let's say you have just an hour a week or hour a day. Let's say you have an hour or 50 minutes tomorrow to work. And it might differ. I have also shown a graphic, right, that your Monday through Friday does not have to be an hour for Plexus, hour for Plexus, hour for Plexus, hour for Plexus. It does not have to look like that. Everyone has different schedules. For me, it's Tuesday and Thursday are my bulk Plexus days. Wednesday might just be a little bit of time, Friday, a little bit of time. I take the weekend off. But let's say, just for an example, that you have an hour to work Plexus tomorrow. 60% of that time, don't ask me to do math. Brittany, you might have to help me here. 60% of that time should be doing the result-oriented activities. So, okay, what did I say? Like 40 minutes? I think it's 40 minutes.
Yeah, about 40 minutes.
About 40 minutes. I think it was 38 point something. Okay. 40 minutes should be business reach outs, thinking about what kind of events can you get on your calendar, inviting people to events, following up. That is so important. You guys, you can't just post and then not follow up. You can't just ask somebody to do a challenge with you and not follow up. Follow up is key. Okay. And then you can read the other things. So then if you spend 40 minutes doing that, right, you have 20 minutes left to do the support activities and the icing on the cake activities. And one of the things that I love that Brittany Howard shares, and she's a diamond in our company. If you don't know who she is, she's amazing. But she's like, I always have so many things on my to-do list and I never get them all done. Okay. You are never going to get everything done, and that's okay. You have to let some things go, but you have to do those result-oriented activities first. And I will be totally honest with you in saying that I don't always do that, but this graphic is really helpful. And I even printed it out for the new year so I can slap it up on my board and just be reminded of like, what is the important work that's really going to move the needle forward.
Awesome. Thank you. And yes, if you could share that maybe in our chat, that would be really helpful. I think that's something to keep in front of you. Like when you sit down to do your work, pull up that little pyramid and be like, okay, before I do the icing, because guys, I love all those icing activities. I would happily like make graphics all day. That does not grow my business, right? It's the results things first. And even just getting caught up in answering messages, right? I just love to be the expert and like answer everybody. Well, I got to work my business first, right? And then I can answer the things. Yes, do the hard things first.
Which I will say really quick on Messenger, I have literally and again, this is something I just started doing, but I have blocked out time where I'm just answering messages. Because otherwise that can like pull you in and then it's like an hour later and you haven't done your result-oriented activities.
Yeah. Yep. Same with, social media. We can, get really sucked into scrolling and then watching reels. Sorry, go to stop. Watching reels and going down the Instagram, black hole of an hour has passed and you've not really done anything. And that can be a form of self-sabotage too, where you're like, oh, I worked my business for an hour and look, I have nothing to show for it. Well, what did you do, right? Like what were the activities, and were they growth activities, or were you just kind of like buffering and scrolling and doing that kind of stuff? Victoria, are you able to pull up the winning day? I think the winning day first. We'll
Yeah.
go through that. That would
Sorry,
be
I wasn't sure if yeah, I have it ready.
okay. Awesome. Hold on
That's
one
winning
second.
week. Oh goodness. Hold on. Okay. Can you guys see it?
Okay, thank you. Yes. So winning week. Can you go to the winning
Oh,
day?
winning
Start with
day.
that one. I'm
Sorry.
sorry. I'm so high maintenance right now.
No, I was not listening.
You're perfect. Okay. Winning day. All right. So if you guys have not seen these before, there are many varieties of winning day and winning week. I always come back to this one because I feel like it has all the things, and it's also really pretty, which means a lot to me. I just like these. So when I sit down to work my business, I will often just pull these up. And if you're new, maybe you even want to print these out for a couple weeks and have like one per day, because there is something about checking boxes and like having a place to make notes that is really helpful. But the winning day activities are basically the things you do daily to work your business and get it to grow. Now, on this sheet, she does break it down into like 30 minutes of this, 60 minutes of that. I want you to kind of ignore that. If you don't have that much time in a day, it is okay. There have been seasons where I have built my business in 15-minute increments, and there's been seasons where I'm working, 2 or 3 hours per day. Obviously, you have to have your expectations according to what you're able to do. And it is really important to do things consistently. Even if it's not a ton of time, if you are spending a consistent 15 to 30 minutes a day that is focused, you can see growth. If you're spending a consistent 2 hours and it's focused, you're going to see growth. But these are the things that move the needle. And in order to create stability, because that's really what we want, is a stable business, you really need to do the things on these sheets every week. There's not anything that is unimportant, okay? And just remind yourself, you're building a business. If you were to start a franchise, like if you bought into a Chick-fil-A franchise, you would have a checklist of hard things that you had to do weekly and daily to get your business off the ground. This is loads easier and can give you the same return on investment. In fact, much better, because our investment is really low, right? Like you join and your membership is $9.95. There's no franchise you can buy for $9.95, and yet you have unlimited income potential with Plexus, okay? So as you're looking at these activities, you can ask yourself, is there anything here that I'm unwilling to do? Is there anything that I'm unwilling to do? And if so, why? Why am I unwilling to do it? And what result will I get if I continue to be unwilling to do that activity? Okay, so we are going to go through each section and talk about whether it is a maintenance activity or a growth activity. So that first section that says 30 minutes getting social. Like Victoria said, a lot of times we think if we post on social media that is doing Plexus as a business and the people are just going to flock to us. If you have a ton of influence, that might be true, but most of us are just normal people and don't have a million Instagram followers. And so we have to do a little more than just post. However, social media can be super helpful. Okay. So expanding and growing your network. So that's the commenting on non-Plexus people's posts, adding friends, commenting in groups. Those are maintenance activities, okay? That will maintain because it's going to kind of bring people into your funnel, but it's not necessarily income producing right now. It's important, but I would say it's a maintenance activity. Creating content, so that says a personal post, a Plexus post, slides in your stories. Maybe you don't do all of those every day, and that's fine, but things to think about on social media. This is a maintenance activity. You might be like, what? I thought that was growth. It can lead to growth, but it's just a piece of it. I like to think of your content, right? Like the things you post on social media, your valuable content gives validity to your IPA, income producing activity. In other words, when you reach out to someone, they know what you're talking about because you've been posting about it, right? They've seen it, you've added value to them. They kind of know what you're all about. They know you're on a gut health journey. They know you've been educating about this stuff so that when you start a conversation, that validity is there. Okay. So your content is kind of working in the background, and you may have people see a post and they're like, sign me up. That's awesome. It can be income producing, but I don't want you to put a ton of expectation on your social media and then be disappointed when it's not working out, right? It's there, it's helping, it's in the background, it's super important. I have driven a lot of my business by posting on social media, so do it, but it can't be the only piece. Okay, so then moving down to the 60 minutes, let's make money. Obviously, these are the income producing activities. So we call this IPA, income producing activity, around the products and the business. And okay, so IPA products on the left side there, start a Plexus conversation. This is definitely a growth activity. So when you do this, you're bringing people into your funnel, and the more conversations you have, the fuller that funnel is, you will be having people join your team. The follow-up is also huge, and that's why it's the next piece. Start a Plexus conversation and follow up with people. That is absolutely huge. You should have a way to keep track of who you're talking to so that when it's time to follow up, you know who to circle back to and follow up. Most people take 7 to 12 times hearing something before they are ready to make a purchase decision. And you've probably experienced that yourself, right? You'll see an ad on Instagram or somewhere and you're like, oh, I like that. And then you have to see it a bunch of times or hear it a bunch of times before you're ready. It's the same way with Plexus. People need to hear about it more than once. Okay. So the products, that's income producing, that's a growth activity. And then over on the right side, the business, having conversations around the business opportunity, definitely a growth activity. That is a growth activity. Bringing up the business is huge, right? It's wonderful to sign up customers, and that's like the majority of our points and our base of our team. But we're all really looking to create new business builders. And it's a numbers game, okay? 10% of people that you talk to about the business will be open to engaging on average, okay? So 10% will be interested and want to have a conversation. So if you just do the math, if you're talking to one person a month about the business, right? Which sounds pretty good, right? I'm going to talk to one person a month about the business specifically. It will probably take you about 10 months to find a new business builder. If you're talking to 2 people a day about the business, you're potentially having one great conversation per week with a business opportunity with someone who's ready to start a business. So do you see how it's a numbers game? Like it really just is how many conversations you're having. But that needs to be a piece of your activity, is talking about the business opportunity. And that doesn't have to be like a fancy presentation. It can just be like, hey, did you see Plexus is giving away like those Stanley Cups that are super popular right now? If you join and we have 3 friends join you, you'd earn over $300 and you could get one of these awesome cups. That's a business ask. Like that is talking about the business. It does not have to be crazy fancy, or you don't have to be making tons of money with Plexus in order to have that conversation. You can tell someone, hey, I just started this new gut health business that I can do from home. I'm looking for people to do it with me. Would you be interested in chatting? You can have made $0 with Plexus and have that conversation with someone, and it's totally valid. And let me tell you, you will grow a lot faster if you have some running partners with you than if you're just signing up customers. Okay, so business conversations are huge. Moving down to that retention category, This is a maintenance activity. This is retaining your current customers. It could be sending subscription reminders, doing your customer care. If you're not doing that, your points will go down. Okay. So it's a maintenance activity, but it's super important. We have to love on our team well and make sure that we are retaining the people that we bring in. The next section, personal development. This is a growth activity. And you might be like, what? That doesn't feel like a growth activity. Personal development is reading, listening, coaching, whatever, getting things into your head that challenge you to grow. And we have lots of recommendations if you need any. There are free podcasts. Brittany Howard's podcast is a great place to start. It's called Lead Hership. You can pull it up on Spotify. There's so many great books that we could recommend, but doing something to help you grow is going to make your content better, right? Like give you things to talk about and your leadership better. And if you're looking to grow a team with Plexus, it really is a leadership kind of job. Yes, it's marketing. Yes, we need to know the products, but you're going to build a team and then you are the leader of that team. So we have to be ready for that. And personal growth is how you learn leadership development. So this is a growth activity long-term. It might not feel like anything is happening while you're doing it, but it is. It's compounded over time, that growth that you experience. Okay, and then on the right side, leadership, down at the bottom. Yep. So as you have people who are working with you, this category comes alive and you're able to start doing it. And this is definitely a growth activity. It's a long-term growth activity. This is helping your people that come along with you for this journey that want to grow. You're giving them feedback. You're in three-way chats and you're clear on who you're currently developing. So this could be, 3 new customers that you want to help get silver this month, whatever the case may be. You're clear on who you're developing and you're providing feedback to help them grow. Okay. And that's it, right? That's the bottom of that page. That is the winning day. So if you are doing a little piece from all of that daily or several days a week for whatever stretch of time, but getting those things in, you will see growth in your business and it will be stable because you're hitting all of the important elements. And then if you could switch over to winning week, this is another helpful tool to look at each week. I personally like to take a little time on Sunday afternoon and just like grab my planner and a cup of tea and chill and think about the week that's coming up and plan things out. I think it saves you a ton of time to be organized before the week hits. And so this winning week will help you think through some of the growth activities that you can be doing on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. If you're not going super hard with Plexus right now, these may be things that you do once a month. So the first section is events, certainly a growth activity. Okay. Events are huge. When you have an event, you're going to get new joins and attract new business builders. And my recommendation is to be running an event monthly. It can be having a few friends over for pink drink samples. It can be meeting up with someone at Panera Bread and, drinking active and telling them the benefits. It could be a virtual event. We have things that we run as a team that you can plug people into. But I would say once a month at least, try to have some kind of event that you are inviting people to. And in-person events are really, really effective. So if you're in any way, shape, or form able to have an in-person event, it can be so chill. It can be, they're so fun. It can literally be just inviting a few girlfriends over to try your pink drink. That's an event. You will see growth from that. Coaching calls, that section is once you have business builders and partners and people that want to do this with you, connect with them. And it doesn't have to be fancy. It can be like, hey, here's what I'm doing this week. Here's some post ideas that I had. How can I help you? That's a coaching call. That is a growth activity. It takes time to get that going, but once you have those people who want to run with you, that's a really important piece. Welcome calls. This is a growth activity. So I think it's such a time saver and such a great customer care element that when you have someone join you, you just set up a quick 5 to 10 minute phone call with them when they get their products. You can call it an unboxing call, you can call it a welcome call, whatever you want, but you just hop on the phone, you walk them through the products that they got and make sure they know how to take them, and you ask the magic question, okay? And the magic question is simply, hey, if you love your products, do you think you'd be open to sharing with family and friends? That is the magic question. You want to record their response. If they say yes, then you can follow up. You know, when they say, hey, I'm sleeping better, or hey, I am able to go to the bathroom now, you can say, oh my gosh, that's great. Let's share that with someone, or let's come up with a post you can put on social media about that and help them share. That's going to grow your team. Okay. So those welcome calls, they're great for retention and they are also great for growth. And honestly, I would rather be on the phone for 10 or 15 minutes than be texting back and forth for 2 weeks, right? Like you can accomplish the same amount of conversation in a 10-minute call as you can like 2 weeks of texting. So they are really time efficient. They can hear your voice. You can express how excited you are for them. It is a great touch point. Okay, and then on the bottom there, Monday Night Live. So we have our team call on Monday night. Doing that is going to be a growth activity, okay? That, and there's a Plexus Book Club every month. If you are plugged into those things, you are going to experience growth because you get awesome training. It's going to keep you close to the fire. In other words, when you are plugged into our team call and the Plexus calls and all the things, you're going to be close to the fire and hear what's going on and be energized by the people that are showing up too. When you stop showing up to team call, when you stop showing up to the things, it's like walking away from a fire and you're going to start to feel cold. So if you ever get to that place, come back, come back close to the fire, get back on our Monday night calls, or hop in our group chats or whatever and stay close to the fire because that is going to energize you and cause growth. Okay, so that is the winning week in a nutshell. It just gives you a space too for recording a win for the week, which could be, you know, that you had a business conversation or that you signed up a new customer or that you did your first coaching call. And then a place to record some of the metrics on your team. Did you have any new level ones? Did anyone rank up? Follow-ups, those things you can kind of just keep track. So I'm talking really fast because we're running out of time, but kind of breaking down just the maintenance versus the growth activities. And so as you're looking at that, if you have big goals for 2024, again, just ask yourself, is there anything I'm unwilling to do? Is there anything on there that I'm like, not doing it? That's okay. You're your own boss. You get to choose. But if I continue to be unwilling, what will the result be? Okay. It is work. It's hard work. Sometimes it's really hard, but I promise you that it's worth it. And we're not going for hustle. We're just going for diligence, right? In 2024, I just want to be diligent. I definitely feel like I need to rely on the Lord and his strength to do it, but it's an opportunity and I don't want to waste it. I want to be a good steward of what I've been given. There are lots of different ways to grow your business. And as you watch diamond documentaries or hear training from different people, you will see 1,000,001 different ways of growing your business, right? Some people are super big social media. Other people do all the in-person events. You can do it however you want, but all of those things on that winning day sheet are there in some element for everyone who's been successful with Plexus. Like you take your spin, but those things are showing up. As I look back, have I had a perfect winning week every week of 2023? Goodness, no. Goodness, no. Victoria laughs because she's like, are you reading Pete the Cat? Because I always say, goodness, no. No, absolutely not. I've probably had way more off weeks than perfect weeks, right? Like most of the time, I do not hit all the things. And so there is no judgment if you're like, goodness, that's a lot. I totally get it. If you're not ready for that whole shebang, keep it simple and just pick what's one thing that I can do to move the needle forward. Maybe I was really scared to have business conversations and I'm just going to start talking to people about the business, right? Whatever the thing is, pick something that's going to propel you forward and then you expand your familiar zone, right? I love how in Secret Code of Success, he calls it your familiar zone, not necessarily your comfort zone. You may not be comfortable yet, but it's familiar. And as your familiar zone expands, you can start adding new things in. So, okay, I am posting on Facebook. That was really hard. Now it's familiar. Now I can add in reaching out to people. Now I can add in business conversations and you expand that zone. Just one thing that's going to move you forward. So it's January. It's the perfect time to start or restart. Guys, people have gone from 0 to Emerald in 5 months. So literally by convention in June, you could be Emerald. Like if anybody can do it, I promise you, you can do it. These are the things. There's nothing, there's no secret sauce. It's all the things on the winning day sheet. Yeah, Amy, you want to share something?
So I've already shared this with Shannon, but one of the things that I do anytime it's to get new people on your Facebook feed, new people to see what you post, is you ask people to friend you on Facebook everywhere you go, basically. But one of the tips that I do is anytime I sell something on like Facebook Marketplace or in the moms group or whatever, I'm like, oh, these clothes, and it is true, these clothes, all my kids wore them. Like, can I please like follow you on Facebook so I can see pictures of the kids in them? Like, and they do it. And that's exactly how I got my friend Jessica, who's now a runner. So, I mean, it's just and good friendships have come from it too. It's not just like, ew, it's something that I have cultivated into a real friendship. But like I've learned so much about these women that I have just randomly asked to friend me because I sold them something or I bought something from them.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Yes, we can be making new friends everywhere we go. But then, yeah, friend them on Facebook. And then what I do is when I meet someone new and I'm like, oh, let me find you on Facebook, I take a screenshot of it right away because I will forget their name so fast. Take a screenshot and that way I can go back and be like, oh, that was Amy from Jiu-Jitsu that I wanted to just chat and say like, hey, it was nice meeting you. So yeah, you can be making new friends. And guess what? You make that new friend. What do? They look at your social media and all that content that you created that you felt like no one was looking at. They take a quick scroll and see what you're all about. So even when your post gets 0 comments or 1 like, and you're like, oh, I'm terrible at this, leave it up. Okay. Stop judging yourself. Leave it up because someone may scroll back and see that and need to see it. So thank you for sharing that, Amy. I hope that was helpful. If you guys don't have that winning day and winning week worksheet, just message me. I can send it to you. If you need some accountability with it, I feel like I would love to do a few weeks of just like, okay, I'm going to do the things on this sheet and I'm going to send it to somebody so they can look at it. Because I know I need it. It's like new year, back to the basics, right? Getting brilliant at the basics and just doing the things, the same things that keep us growing. So hope that was helpful. You guys have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for hopping on and I'll talk to you soon. Good night, guys.